Good morning, Toastmasters. There is a debate in my house between my husband and I hope that you can help me resolve it. I'm right, of course. But I want the satisfaction of telling him next time it comes up, and it will come up, that my Toastmasters group agrees with me. I have to give you a little bit of context before I tell you about what the actual controversy is. You see, my husband and I are complete and total polar opposites. He is sort of a straight line thinker. My thought process is typically a spider web. He is a black and white, kind of all things fit in a box kind of guy. If there's gray to be found, I will find it. I love people. The stranger, the ranger, the more interesting they are to me. With my husband, he's a pretty buttoned up guy. He would prefer that the whole world just conform to normal, and if it's okay with you, please wear your khakis and polo shirts at all times. Now, there's some subjects that we don't completely, end up on the opposite poles on. I don't hate sports. But that man, if there is a competition with a ball, or a television program that has a competition with a ball, or something about before the competition with the ball comes on, or if there's a story about the history of the game, or whatever it is that involves sports, he can't get enough. The entire house could be on fire, and after he tells me to get the pets out, he would probably rescue the television because he doesn't want to miss the game. So, the only thing, I guess there's exception to that, is soccer. He says that any sort of competition that can end in a tie is really sort of like kissing your sister. So he's not a soccer fan. However, his favorite is baseball. And he is a walking, talking encyclopedia of baseball. The man can tell you about the uniforms and the patches and how the pitcher holds the ball to result in whatever it is that ends up over the plate. He knows all the players. He knows all of the sayings. And baseball talk in particular is sort of a soft spot with him. He enjoys all of the words. He taught our niece at a very young age to say things like can of corn and big whipper. The lexicon of baseball to my husband is sacred. And so while I'm sitting with him watching these ball games, because it's mandatory that I'm at least in the room, and I'm looking at Google or whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm used to him yelling at the television. That's just kind of the thing. But I'm really not used to him yelling when the commercial is on. And so there's this commercial that comes on, and it's selling GM trucks. And the tagline is, in baseball, a pitcher that paints the corners is known as a Rembrandt. I've never seen the man move so fast. It is not! Rembrandt's not in baseball! That's just not true! Well, I'm amused at this point. And I told you, I was reading on my phone. And so I go to work on Google and I'm researching, where does this come from? And about the 13th page, because I was quite confident that I was going to find that a major manufacturer like GM wouldn't just lie to us. And about 13 pages in on Google, I find it, the piece, the evidence. And so I say to him, well, it looks like you're wrong. There's a book about a minor league pitcher. And the minor league pitcher in this book is referred to as a Rembrandt, and that's where the origin of the TV commercial comes from. And he looked at me, and every single baseball feather that he had suddenly became ruffled. And he starts to defend baseball and its lexicon, and they hate this commercial, and it goes something like this. Well, first of all, they're trying to hawk me trucks by telling me that this guy, and he knows the guy's name, I don't know who it is, that's throwing this fast pitch that you can't possibly have, or that not everybody has a 95-mile-per-hour Rembrandt. That guy's top is 92. There's no way he throws 95 miles per hour. And secondly, okay, paint the corners is baseball, but Rembrandt is not baseball. Things like cheese for throwing a fast pitch, that's baseball. Or cookie for throwing a bad pitch. That's baseball. Or a steak for an RBI. Get it? Ribeye, RBI, that's baseball. Rembrandt is not baseball. Okay, look, it says right here, it's in baseball. It's a minor league. An author wrote it. Just because you didn't know it doesn't mean it's not in baseball. And he says, look, by definition, in baseball, this guy's a minor league. He's not in baseball. And so I said to him, well, I guess that just depends on what your definition of the word in is. See what lawyers do? We fight about prepositions and you leave us alone. Whatever the case, I know I'm right. Because I saw it, and I found it, and I looked at the evidence. And it has to be in baseball. And so today, Toastmasters, by a show of hands, I'd like for you to please tell me, who of you agrees with me? This is in baseball at this point. And who agrees with my husband? It's not in baseball. This violates the sacredness of the lexicon. Now, who is it that just thinks we watch entirely too much television? Thank you.